Welcome to this new episode of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Jeremy and Vinnie this week. Saint is on assignment in the Bering Strait. He's trying to see if he can see Russia from Sarah Palin's house.
Awesome.
I haven't gotten an update on that yet, but we'll see what he leaves in a voicemail in the future. But guys, how's your week been going?
Good. Not bad, man.
Good. How are you? Better than a Steelers fan.
Yeah, better than those Steelers. That's for sure.
Listen, it was rough, but at least Randy, how do you pronounce his last name? Fichtner? At least he's gone. That's the biggest saving grace.
Right. That's a plus. So we did win something this year.
Offensive coordinator?
Yeah. He was the quarterback's coach under, who was it, Ken Wisenhut or whatever, and Ben, I guess, had a great relationship with him, but I mean, he's had 3 years as a OC, and it's just not been a good fit. I mean, he's never been a strong offensive coordinator. I feel like anytime the Steelers are actually winning, it's Ben pulling stuff out of his ass, or
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Tomlin has anything to do with play calling, but I mean, it's got to be audibles and all that kind of stuff, because I don't know this guy. I could be totally wrong, but this is just me as a fan talking, and from seeing what other fans say, I don't think he's I'm glad to see him gone. I'm hoping something changes, so next year, considering if Ben even comes back, hopefully they can get something out of it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we might be losing Ben, and looks like Drew Brees is thinking about leaving, but after that performance tonight, I don't know, maybe he might want to come back and redeem himself a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game. I'm assuming Jeremy watched the game, but I saw before the game even started articles from, who was it, from I think it was Ian Rappaport from NFL Network or something. I think he was saying this is pretty much Breeze's last game, like he had come to that. But, again, not winning could change that mindset.
Exactly.
So not winning could make him come back with the drive for next year. But, he's had some health issues. He was out for a few weeks this year too, right? So, I mean.
Yeah. What the hell? He injured something.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But, I mean, losing is one thing, but losing like that, I mean, he had a horrible performance. I mean, a couple of maybe one or two of the interceptions weren't really his fault, but one definitely was. I mean, but after a performance like that, it's hard to hang it up and, have that bad taste in your mouth at the very end. So.
No, and you see Brady moving on with the Bucks show, playing the Packers next week up at Lambeau. Go Pack.
What the hell?
I gotta say, I'm sorry. I can't stand Tom Brady in any sense. Sorry, Jeremy. Even if he was on the Steelers, I'd be the same way.
I doubt that very severely.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not true.
No, if he was getting results, I'd have to get on board.
I don't know, man. I just can't stand him. The whole, the tuck rule and everything back in the day, and I can't. He's such a.
Well, did you see him try to get a high five from the ref, forgetting that he's no longer on the Patriots?
Oh, what you mean tonight? That happened too?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He scored a touchdown. He did a goal line jump or a dive for a touchdown, and he's walking over towards the ref and puts his hand up for a high five, and the ref just walks by the ref, and the ref just ignored him. It was pretty funny.
Didn't that happen? Was it last year or earlier this year? The same exact thing. Like I remember seeing it. That's why I'm shocked that it happened again. But
I think it happens to him a lot.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
You get those memes or those gifs of him like with his hand out like hi,
exactly.
and no one's giving the.
Yeah. Maybe it's the same meme I've seen over and over and over again, but it seems to happen quite a bit.
It seemed like he was trying to make a joke of it, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. So let's see. It's Bills at Chiefs next weekend and Bucks at Pack. Any quick predictions? I don't think I've heard from some of our fans. They think our show is mainly about football. I'm like, really? Honestly, it's not. We cover it a little bit because we cover everything else. I said last week we covered 45 minutes on politics.
I mean, we do this on Sunday, so and football's here, so of course we're going to talk about it.
Well, so just quickly, this should be interesting to see how the NFL handles the concussion protocol with Mahomes. Because he left the game. I don't know if you didn't watch, Mike, but he left the game in the third quarter with a concussion.
Yeah.
So now, oh shit! Now next week, what are they gonna do? If
They better not push those
How
games.
hard-
That's a championship game. It stays where it is. Hit the players out. They put in Chad Henne. That's the way it's
Yeah.
got to be.
Yeah.
Had Henny played well.
And he had 2 plays that probably won the game for him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Browns were coming back.
At least didn't
Yep.
give it back to the Browns. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he got that last first down.
Yeah, I wasn't watching it. I was just keeping up on the score. I was, like I told you guys, I was trying to catch up on The Crown with my wife, and we were watching Haunting of Bly Manor and things like that. But I was watching the score, and I saw the Browns were coming back. It was like 19-3 at one point, and then it kept sneaking up. And I think it was 22-17.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts next weekend? Who's your picks for next weekend? Vinny, you go first.
The Bills and KC. I mean, if Mahomes plays, I don't see Buffalo beating them.
Yeah.
But if they got to go with Henne with the concussion protocol or whatever, I don't know. It'd be a good game. I mean, it'd be a good game. I mean, KC is when their offense is clicking, it's hard to stop them. I know Buffalo's got a pretty good defense, but I think it'd be a good game. I don't think it'll be a real blowout, but I think KC would take it at home.
And what about the NFC? You got an opinion on that?
NFC, well, I have to go Packers just with home field advantage.
Yeah. Be nice to have a nice snowball.
Yeah, it would be. But yeah, I don't see lightning striking twice for Tampa Bay in an away game, especially up in Green Bay. Not that there's going to be a lot of fans there or anything to, do anything, but just being up there in the cold like that, I think it'll affect. Although Brady is a cold weather guy, well, not now since he's with Tampa Bay, but he's used to playing in New England, so that will be to his advantage anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to go with Green Bay on that game.
What you got, Jeremy?
I actually think Kansas City has a better chance with Henne in there as the quarterback because Mahomes had a bum toe earlier in the game. It looked like he was in a lot of pain.
That's true. I saw him limping around. That's true.
Wonder how he would have played the rest or next week either way, even if he can't with the concussion.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be the Bills because they've looked pretty impressive. And I know Tampa beat Green Bay like 38-10 earlier in the season, but I think it'll be closer. But I'm still hoping Tampa will win.
Right. Yeah.
I think, I mean, I know, I remember what you're talking about with the Packers losing, but, I have a feeling, and of course I know nothing. I thought the Steelers were true last weekend. I think it's going to be Buffalo and Green Bay in the Super Bowl, but we'll see.
That'd be a good Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably have a bag of Doritos for that game.
Spicy nacho?
Yeah, sure. Why not? The fired Doritos.
One of the other big news in the NFL. I mean, just one other article I came across. The Jets, they hired Robert. How do you pronounce his name? Saleh. He's the first Muslim NFL head coach.
Oh, really?
He's the 49ers defensive coordinator. So
he's the head coach for the Jets?
Yeah, they hired him. They fired. What was that other guy's name? Oh, Gase. Adam Gase. Yeah.
Are the Jets still in the NFL?
Barely.
Maybe the Mets should play for him.
Just switch sports. Just throw Sam Darnold out on the Mets. So have a pitch to the Yankees.
Why not? I mean, what would it hurt? I mean, really.
That's one thing I wish our American sports had was relegation.
Oh yeah.
If you're one of the last 2 teams or 3 teams in the league, you go down and someone else comes up.
Yeah.
Give you some incentive to not be the last team in the league.
That would be interesting. Yeah, definitely. Going for that first round.
So let's go Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State are NFL teams next year.
Right.
See you later, Jets, Jacksonville, and whoever the hell was next.
Speaking of relegation, I assume you brought that up because you put it on the list to speak about this week. Did you watch all of Ted Lasso, Jeremy? Or
I watched the first 3 episodes today with the wife.
Okay.
And it's damn funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
I watch soccer as well, so some of that made me laugh as well.
Gotcha.
But I'm surprised you enjoyed it, as you don't like comedies at all.
No, I like comedies as long as they're funny and not, in
And
front of
in
a live
space.
studio audience. And yeah, I mean, it's got to be vulgar, because I like that, because that's how real people talk. I find it very hard to find like a straight-laced comedy that's really, really funny. I love Jason Sudeikis. He's awesome. And the supporting cast there. And I don't even like soccer, but like the actors who are playing the soccer players, they're really funny. So
Have you finished the whole season or no?
Yeah, I finished it. Well,
Ted Lasso? I haven't
yeah.
seen that yet.
It's on Apple Plus. It's pretty good. If you get a chance, check it out. You might be able to get a free trial to Apple Plus still if you
Is it
want.
on Apple Plus? Yeah.
It's
I watched a couple episodes of this when my girlfriend was watching. I showed up and she was watching this show called Fleabag. You guys
that's
heard about
great.
that one?
Fleabag is the best. I wish that.
That is such a great show. It really is. She was already into season 2, and I watched like probably the last 4 episodes of it. But yeah, it's really funny, man. It's good. It's a good, good story, good plot.
Where's that?
It's on Amazon now.
Amazon, yeah.
Amazon, all right.
It's from the woman who created Killing Eve, Phoebe Waller-Bridge or Bridge Wallers or something. She's hilarious. Like, I had just heard about it, and it won a few Emmys, and I was like, let's give it a shot. And me and Heather watched it. It's really short. It's like 8 episodes, 10 episodes total,
right.
And it's just hilarious. And it's got
I like English humor anyway, man. I like, did you watch Afterlife with Ricky Gervais?
No, I watched all his other shows. I watched like extras, and
you gotta watch Afterlife, man. It's great. It's really good.
What's that on?
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think it's Netflix.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
I'll check it out. I got some time to kill.
It's good. Yeah, exactly.
With this bum shoulder. See, I wore a wife beater today, and I know that's not the politically correct term to see, but
yeah, you just want to show us your scars,
dude. It sucks. They itch, but you can't. I'm not supposed to touch them, right? So like, I can't do anything. I just have to look at them and hope for the best. It's like fishing wire. Yeah.
Yeah. If that itches, just give it a tap. Just slap it.
But I mean, I'm hoping. I'm in pain. They didn't give me enough of my painkillers. The pharmacy. I was still under anesthesia when we went to get the medication. The pharmacy didn't tell my wife that if we didn't pick up all of the pills, that we wouldn't be able to get the refill that is clearly marked on the bottle. It says we get 1 refill left. So I called the refill in to a different CVS, but still in town. They say, A, it's not transferable, and B, if you didn't pick up the entire prescription the first time, you can't get it, and you'll have to call in another prescription. Meanwhile, it's Saturday, it's Sunday now. I can't even get a refill on it.
So you're out of pills?
I'll be out this morning. I just took one right before the show, and so I have about 4 to 6 hours. Yeah, right.
So you're enjoying the hell out of this show.
No, like for real. It's like I don't feel like it. The only thing it makes me is I think a little bit tired. So if I start like slurring my words like Pam Oliver or anything.
Well, what is it? Do they give you
It's hydrocodone acetamide.
Hydrocodone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be. I mean, I think it helps, but I mean, who knows? It might be just all in my head. But I've been taking it every 4 to 6 hours just so I don't have to deal with it, because it's more annoying and throbbing pain than anything else. It's not, and I just want to make sure I'm not messing anything up. That's why I have my arm in this sling still.
Right. So when are you gonna start therapy on it?
Well, that's the thing. Jeremy bitching about me having a doctor's appointment on January 29th because we're talking about this interview. That's my follow-up appointment to see if I guess I can get out of this sling, and then to start scheduling the physical therapy. So, that's a pretty important one, Jeremy. I'm going to keep that one, and then.
I wasn't bitching about you having an appointment. I just was pointing out the hypocrisy of the situation.
Yeah, it was a bit hypocritical. Yeah, I have to go with that. Definitely.
Well, I didn't take the Hippocratic Oath, guys, so...
I don't think that's what that means. Just going to point that out. I think you might be mixing things up there a little bit.
Google it.
I can't Google. Remember, I told you guys are in charge of Googling for the show. I have my one hand in the sling.
Oh, come on.
Which hand is in the sling?
The right one.
Oh, man. It's killing your sex life, huh?
Totally killing my sex life.
Wow. Well, don't try the other hand. You might injure yourself.
Yeah, I'm just going to wait. I'll hold off.
Doesn't even have a choice but to go with the stranger. All right.
We're going to sit on the hand first, numb it out. Let me see here.
Numb it up.
Yeah, numb it up. That's what the stranger is, right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right.
So I know we had talked the past few weeks, and I think each of you at least has one episode of Cobra Kai under your belt now, right?
Yeah, I watched one today.
I
Okay.
got a season, and I'm into the second episode on the second season.
Okay.
I got in trouble because I got caught watching it without the wife.
She wanted to watch it?
She wanted to see it?
Apparently, yeah, I got busted. They came home from the store and I was watching it. Son of a.
Yeah.
You guys got to watch when you get to the third season. That literally, I'm not going to spoil anything. Every guest star you could imagine coming back is pretty much back. And so, like,
really?
And they also set it up for the fourth season, where I'm pretty sure I know who's going to come back in the fourth season because
That's
I've
pretty
watched the movies
impressive.
and everything.
They got Mr. Miyagi back? That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, he's like a pile of bones in the corner.
Yeah. He's CGI, Mr.
Poor
Miyagi.
Pat Morita.
Oh man, he was funny.
Yeah.
Sad
Yeah, he was.
Every guest star. I mean, damn. I remember the other. I assume all the other Karate Kids.
Yeah, it's every guest star that's alive. I think pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So,
Did they get Hillary Swank yet?
No, that's the one. I think probably maybe next season, but I don't want to spoil anything. But I mean, she's not back yet, so whatever.
Please don't bring. Please.
Listen, she was so hot in the next Karate Kid, man. So, and she's probably looking for work because her Netflix show just got canceled. So, come on, man, let her come into Cobra Kai.
Karate Kid. What was she? 14 when she?
No,
died?
she was not. She was surely
No.
an adult, I think.
Oh, sure. Keep telling yourself that. Yeah. Keep the cops from knocking on your door.
It was right before Boys Don't Cry, I think. And she was.
No, I think it was a few years before Boys Don't Cry. But
Yeah,
we'll let you know.
Yeah, 5 years. Jeremy's going to do the research on that.
Yeah.
He's the movie expert. Look at his
You
shirt.
just want to
Be
clean
kind
up
and
your
rewind.
conscience. That's all. You just want to clean up your conscience.
I think I'm good. Hopefully.
Wow.
Anyway,
I only had to type 3 words and it came up.
what did it say?
She was
What did it
20
say?
when she made the movie.
Boom,
She's
son.
20? Oh, man.
That's what it says.
She doesn't look 20.
I
win that argument.
All right.
I'm looking right now. Bangs. Yeah, made her a little younger. Let's go with that.
All right. So now Mike doesn't have to register as a sex offender. Good.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Good. That's always my plan
Look at
to do.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. I got COVID. No, I don't have COVID, but my house still has COVID.
Still?
No, my daughter's latest test came back. What's the word I'm looking for?
Negative?
No, not negative, not
Inconclusive?
positive, inconclusive.
Inconclusive.
There we go.
Then she has some positive antibodies. So we're still waiting on that. And so it's killed, I haven't seen my parents in a month. We haven't been able to hang out as a family in a month, basically. So
Right.
I'm hoping, they told us to wait 5 days. So we're going to go back on Wednesday. I'm hoping it comes back negative and then we can kind of go back about our normal thing. But
So, Vinny, do you know the real story about what's happening here?
What?
My wife and I moved into a new house at the end of December.
Oh, that.
So
Yeah.
Mike's
That's right.
family had COVID and he had surgery just to not help me move. It's pretty bullshit.
Nice.
But
I paid $1,200 so far for this surgery and I still have an anesthesia bill and a surgeon bill coming. So no.
Just so you didn't have to move a box? Jesus Christ.
that's right.
I'm pretty sure
Wow.
Jeremy's never helped me move, but that's okay.
I'm pretty sure we decided that we have.
Helping my dad with his storage. That's what you did. That was my father.
We did that too, yeah. That damn platform's still standing, I'm sure.
But yeah, it probably is. I don't know. But yeah, the surgery, it was, just arthroscopic. But I got to tell you, I don't know if I'm allergic to certain anesthesias or not. But I woke up and all I remember is puking in a bag and then going back to sleep and then puking in a bag and going back to sleep. And that's how I woke up. And so
That's like college.
Yeah, right.
I never had that traditional experience like some people did at Gettysburg. So, I mean, I think it went okay. Like I said, I'm afraid every time I feel some sort of pain, I feel like I'm fucking it up. And so I'm doing my best to follow the doctor's orders. I said, "Is driving okay?" And he gave me this look. He's like, "No." And he said, "If you drive, I don't want to know about it." So
it's rotator cuff surgery, right? Is that what it was?
yes,
Rotator cuff?
yeah. So he doesn't want me. I have to be driven everywhere. I have to do everything on my own. He doesn't want me reaching for things like that. So
Huh.
basically,
It's good to hear that Heather's doing better. She can help you out.
Yeah, no, she's been doing everything. I told you, she's even scrubbing me in the shower. It's great. I never get to reach my back with that with the scrub brush, so now I have. This is great.
Well, I know, well, you were proud that she soaked your balls the other night, so.
Vinnie bringing in stuff from the text thread. I think my parents listen to the show, but that's fine. That's okay.
Hey, listen, nothing's safe, man. If you don't want me to say anything about it, do not put it on that text.
That's okay. I got it, Vinny. I love you.
All right.
I like that you think your parents listen. You're not sure.
Well, no, they spun. Oh, well, was he on the first show? No, he wasn't on the first show. So my mom listened to the first show, and it talks about buying them Elton John tickets for Christmas.
Yeah.
And Jeremy wasn't on it. And so, like, my mom talked to me the next day, and she's like, oh, so you have any plans for 2022? Because that's when the concert is. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Not even putting two and two together. Like, oh, she must have listened to the podcast.
Oh, my God.
But then she told me, she's like, oh, don't worry. This medical marijuana I'm on, I won't even remember it tomorrow.
So what was that, an anniversary gift?
No, it was just a Christmas gift. You know, I usually get little personalized things like pillows with pictures or pictures blown up, but you know, you run out of space for that kind of thing. So
okay, so you were going to give them a Christmas present for what? This Christmas coming up?
Yeah, no, for the one that just passed because I haven't seen him. Yeah, because I haven't seen him because of COVID and everything. So I'm just still waiting on that. I don't know if my dad knows. I tried to show him how to listen to a podcast the other day, but we were driving and he doesn't really pay much attention. He cares about Islanders hockey and sleeping and hanging out and, you know, watching NCIS and that kind of stuff. He's retired.
Yeah. Hey, hockey's back.
Yeah, hockey is back.
Got that.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't watch it. Just same reason I'm an Islanders fan. I'll always be an Islanders fan, but too many games. Same with baseball. I hate baseball, but same with baseball, basketball. If I go to a game, that's a different story. But I'm not one who can subscribe to a package and record 82 games and have the time to watch all those. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Magic fan, I'm an Islanders fan, I'm a Steelers fan, but I just would never have the time to watch anything else. I would never have seen Ted Lasso. I would never finish up The Crown like I'm trying to do now, you know.
Right.
So that's where we're at.
Priorities, Mike. Priorities. You got your
Exactly.
priorities straight.
Oh, you know, we talk about movies. We talk about a lot of stuff. Cobra Kai.
Yeah. I love it though. I do. I like it. What about you, Jeremy? What you've seen? Do you like it? Or
I liked the first episode was good. I mean, it's a little weird because they I can't tell who they're setting up to be the bad guy, or more or less, right now.
Yeah.
Because both of them are kind of there. It's just the first episode ended with him, you know, starting his, you know, putting the headband back on. So up until then, you could at least root for him a little bit, even if he was an asshole. Because, you know, Mike, you know,
they pretty
wanted
much
to talk about assholes. I didn't know which one of us he wanted to talk about, but
that was actually my wife's suggestion.
But Daniel comes off as an asshole, you know.
Yeah, they both
in the one interaction.
They both trade off the asshole role throughout the season. You know.
Oh, okay, yeah. That first episode, I was like, weird.
Yeah, it's hard to tell who the bad guy is. You know,
I think that the show has fun with that. I mean, it can go both ways. You know,
go either way.
They could be leaning towards a good guy, but then they could be a bad guy. But they're a regular person. It's not like a movie where you have a clear cut villain and a clear cut good guy. You know, so and that's kind of what they're saying. You know, there are these kids who, even the kids, they're saying, hey, you know, I'm inferring like, hey, even back in the original Karate Kid, maybe Johnny wasn't the bad guy. You got to see it from his point of view, kind of thing. You know, Daniel comes over, steals Allie from Johnny, even though they weren't together. So I like that kind of thing. You know, that there's always more than one point of view.
Well, plus you get a little more background on Johnny, because you didn't know what kind of kid he was. You didn't know, you know, what his home life was or anything like that. But in this show, you find that out, and it's kind of like, okay, well, that makes sense why he was the way he was, you know.
And that was Elizabeth Shue, right?
Yeah, Elizabeth Shue.
I did not realize how big she was in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, that and taking over the Back to the Futures 2 and, you know, Karate Kid, she was huge.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, that's right. She took over from that first actress in the first Back to the Future. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not realize how kind of everywhere she was.
But she was only in Karate Kid, and then she dropped out of 2. I don't think she would have had a role anyway, because obviously Karate Kid 2, he went to Japan. I don't know what his role would have been. in Karate Kid 3 when he came back. Maybe she could have come back, but by then she had been in a few different movies and was a little bit of a bigger star. So assholes, so I was talking to my wife about that the other day. She says that she tries her best to not be an asshole, like at work or around to other people. Like if someone does something and you should flip them off, like maybe I would normally do or something like that while you're driving, she tries to be zen about it. And so when she was saying that other people make her an asshole sometimes, I'm like, oh, she must be talking about me, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you're making me an asshole right now.
So I just thought it was a funny topic. Like, I mean, do you guys, could you do some self-reflection? Would you consider yourself an asshole? I consider myself an asshole. I try to be nice, and I'm usually nice, but I think asshole is also not always a negative thing. I feel like I'm an asshole. I'm funny. I'm things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to have a negative connotation, but.
Well, I I have asshole tendencies, I would say, and it's kind of how someone perceives you. You might think you're being funny. They may think you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to think that yourself that, well, I wasn't trying to be an asshole, but this guy thinks I'm an asshole. So, but I mean, yeah, I'm not generally an asshole, but I do have asshole tendencies. I don't try to be an asshole, but it's like your wife said. I mean, if somebody does something, I could be forced into becoming an asshole over something stupid, depending on what kind of mood I'm in. But yeah, I mean, I would just leave it at, I have asshole tendencies.
Asshole
trait. Yeah.
Now, see, I thought I had a fairly good filter on my asshole tendencies because I know in my mind I'm an asshole. But I was, talking to somebody at work one day, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I heard you're an asshole." I'm like, "Well, fuck, I'm not doing a very good job then, am I? What the hell? I was trying to be nice to the people here. This is fucked up." Imagine if they knew what I really thought sometimes. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeremy can speak to the fact, back in high school, I thought I was being funny, but I'm sure he thought I was being an asshole.
Hey, I still claim I had nothing to do with your detention or suspension, or whatever you want to call it. That was all.
That's exactly what I was saying. I mean, it's like the perception, like in high school, you brought up high school. Yeah, a lot of people thought I was an asshole. Because
They still do.
Yeah, exactly. But I wasn't trying to be, you know what I mean? I was just doing whatever, and they're like, "Oh, what an asshole," because I wasn't conforming to what they thought was not an asshole. So,
and I don't even think of it as like, not back to the negative thing, but I know I don't really like talking about my job on here, so I'm not really going to go into specifics, but I was out the other day on a job and I was meeting someone for the first time. They have a Ring doorbell, but it wasn't Ring, it was off brand. Okay. And so I had to get a hold of this person ASAP. I ring the doorbell. No one answers. Finally, like 2 or 3 minutes later, someone answers. They're in and out. Like, I don't know if it's a cell signal thing. I don't know what it is. I'm talking to someone else on the phone. The person I was with, the deputy I was with, was talking to him. So I couldn't get any clear answers from this guy. I wound up finding who I needed to find. And when I was with his significant other, I'm a professional, but I didn't know how else to phrase it. I said, "So I'm just wondering, is this guy, is he an asshole?" Because when I talked to him on the doorbell, he didn't hear me, or I think maybe he is. And she kind of laughed and said, "No, he isn't." And then when I met him face to face, he was pretty upset at me. But what happened was I let him talk it out, and I said, "I apologize. It was a bad doorbell. You had bad cell service where you were, and I didn't know you." And I said, "Now I think we're pretty good." I said, "Are we good? We're on the same page?" He's like, "Yeah, man, we're good now." So you just got to let people vent sometimes and get that out, because you don't want people to feel that way about you. You don't want to be an asshole in people's eyes. You might want to be funny, but I can't think of any one person who would want to be called a straight up asshole all the time.
No, not all the time. Every once in a while, But I'm one of those types that's very self-deprecating. You're not going to make me feel bad. I'm going to say more shit about me than you can. That's how I get my way out of shit. Somebody coming after me. I turn into a complete asshole, but I let them know that I'm an asshole. I'm self-deprecating. Everything's on me. So. Then they're like, "Well, what can I possibly say? He said it all." So it kind of halts them in their tracks.
Right.
But yeah.
Speaking of assholes, we have one about to leave office this week. So that brings us to the inauguration, where Joe Biden is coming in to replace the outgoing asshole. So the biggest news, I think we just kind of forwarded these links to you guys, that the FBI is going to be vetting 25,000 National Guard troops before the inauguration, because I'm assuming there's some credible evidence or some threats that look like they may happen.
Whoa. FBI doesn't need credible evidence to do anything. They've proven that over the last 4 years.
Yes, when they released that Hillary was not guilty at all, and then it fucked up the election, and then the Electoral College voted Trump. Yeah, I got it. I got you, Jeremy.
Well, no. The dossier that they used that had no basis in fact to get a warrant, I think that's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You don't know about that because they don't talk about that on the channels you watch.
I don't watch channels. I don't watch any specific channels. I get news alerts on my phone. Who watches TV news anymore? I mean, barely.
I really don't.
I know. I worked it.
I mean, it's like, exactly. I try to stay away from it.
I mean,
especially
it's just
local. I mean, I'll watch like CNN or something just to catch up on the national stuff, and I'll watch the national news, NBC or whatever. But local news I don't watch, and I definitely don't watch Fox, and I don't get all my news off the internet. So,
I mean, I got to think I'm going to be watching. I haven't watched an inauguration, I don't think, ever, unless I've seen clips of it. I got to feel like I've got to be watching it this Wednesday, because I feel like something's going to go down or be prevented. And so I got to watch. It's like history in the making almost. And I hope nothing does, but.
Did you see the thing today about catching the guy with fake credentials? And
oh yeah, no, he had 500 rounds. He only had a handgun, but then he had the fake
rounds of ammunition.
Yeah,
500 rounds of ammo. I mean, sounds like a lot. A lot of people I know have a lot more than that, but why did he have the fake credentials? That's
exactly.
He was up to no good for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that.
But these people are idiots, right? I mean, that's why they get caught. I mean, because they're stupid. They just, I don't know.
It's not Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible pulling this off. It's
I mean, it's just stupid people, man. I mean, for them to put themselves on camera doing the shit that they were doing, it just proves that they're stupid.
Yeah.
They look stupid. And why aren't they at fucking work? I mean, that to me, that's a lot of jobs that are available when those fuckers are running around trying to disturb, trying to take over the Capitol.
So many people have lost their job because of their own families turning them in from being identified at those things. I've seen like a real estate person. I've seen people who work at car dealerships. I think there's probably a government worker or two. It's just crazy. And did we ever talk about how they thought Jamiroquai was at the insurrection?
No.
The guy. Okay, so the guy with the horns and the painted face and the fur hat. They thought that guy looked a lot like the lead singer of Jamiroquai. So much so that the lead singer of Jamiroquai, who's now in his late 40s, early 50s, something like that, he had to put out a message on Twitter. And
that was not me.
Yeah, no. Basically, he started off with a fake Southern accent because he's English. He's from Great Britain,
right?
And so he starts off with that accent, and then he leads into, "No, man, I've been in quarantine since 2 months ago, pretty much up here in England, so it's not me."
Yeah, it wasn't even a fucking country.
Yeah. I just thought that was funny. But
I'm not surprised at this, and of course you were talking about, watching it and stuff. I said, it's going to be something to watch. Everybody's going to have their eyes on the TV to see what happens, if anything. Hopefully it goes smoothly. I hate to see anybody get hurt, killed, whatever, but there's enough assholes out there that I think something may happen, maybe away from that area. They might try to blow something else up or shoot something else up. There's a lot of memorials down there. The Lincoln Memorial, the Vietnam thing. I mean, there's so much shit that they could fuck up just, to cause a distraction.
Right.
It's very possible. So yeah, I think everybody's going to be pretty glued to the TV just to see what happens.
I'm hoping for the best. What time does that go down anyway? Anyone know? Is that noon thing or?
I don't even know. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah,
I don't know. I assume I'll be at work.
Still on politics, I think we have one more political thing to cover this week. So here in Florida, I know Jeremy's here, Saints here, but not right now. Vinnie, you're in Georgia. So there's a woman named Rebecca Jones who was in charge of, I think, compiling all the data from COVID last year. She was like one of the lead scientists working for the state.
Right.
And according to her, from what I remember from the prior articles and interviews I've seen she did, she thinks she got fired because she didn't follow what the state, whether that's the governor or the governor's lackeys, told her to do with, releasing certain numbers. She just wants to compile all the data she has and release it factually and accurately and truthfully. And so now they're coming after her. A few weeks ago, they barged into her home with a warrant, to search her house. Apparently the computers that they took all her computers that she was still posting data on, even though she didn't work for the state anymore. She was doing it on her own free time.
On her own, right.
Yeah. And so they took all those. She thinks, I saw in her most recent article, because she just had to turn herself in for an unknown charge, which was what we were discussing before the show. We still don't know what the charge is. She said that there may have been some stuff on the computers that she was not supposed to have, but it wasn't something that she sought out intentionally, illegally, hey, that's confidential, give me that kind of thing. That's what I'm seem to be gathering. Did you guys gather anything else different from those articles? I'm interested to see what the charge is. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day.
That's what I'm waiting for. They said that, you won't hear the charge until they actually apprehend her and hold her. So and then we'll find out what the charges are. I think it's a smart move that she turned herself in, even though it's a bogus warrant. But
that's tough for me because you don't know what they use to get the warrant. Most judges hopefully would not give a warrant based on nothing.
Yeah.
No evidence to support it. But as we discussed with the FBI, sometimes they can get a warrant off bad information.
Oh, sure.
Did you watch,
Absolutely.
speaking of the FBI, a little bit back to the inauguration, did you watch the Comey rule, I think it is? It was on Showtime. It's a 2-part series. It's really good. It's Jeff Daniels plays James Comey, and I think Brendan Gleeson plays Trump. Just for a little bit, it's mainly about Comey, and it's really well done because it's all about the facts that made them go in certain ways with the investigation, whether it was into Trump, whether it was into Clinton, and this was back in 2016. And so it's really interesting, and it's obviously some of it's fictional, some of it's truthful. It's not documentary, but it was really interesting to learn some new stuff that I didn't know before about what was going on back then. All I knew back then was Benghazi, then there was these emails, and then there's these servers, and then a week before the election, all this information gets released saying that she's under investigation, but then she's cleared, and then Trump's president because of the Electoral College.
Right?
Yeah, I'm always going to say that. I'm sorry. That's always going to be my caveat because Orange Man did not get elected by the popular vote. So.
Right, exactly. People seem to forget that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, Jeremy, you paid a lot more attention in high school than I did. I did not do well in history, but I still don't even understand why the Electoral College was a thing back in the day. I don't care if there's rural farmers or whatnot. As long as they get their vote in time, whether it's by post or go to a local mayor or something and put your vote in, make your mark, why would that be any different? Why would they need – it should always be about the popular vote.
Especially in the colonial times, Virginia would have dominated the vote. And the issues of Virginia have nothing to do with the issues of New Hampshire or Massachusetts. They don't want the same things. They don't have the same interests. And if you have one state dominating the government, guess whose issues are going to get dealt with? Theirs and nobody else's.
Right.
But whose fault is that for living in the middle of nowhere?
Well, that's the whole point. Hey, why would Massachusetts want to be part of of government that they have no say in? That's what they just got out of.
You know what? I'm on board. I'm making this statement now. Let's make all the states individual countries. We're going to have 50 different countries.
Hey, can we cut California into 3 different states? I'm good with that. Those guys are crazy out there.
I've been there once for San Diego Comic-Con. It was fine.
Man.
Yeah, but you got to leave.
Yes.
A lot of people are leaving. California actually has a declining population for the first time in forever.
Really?
Since it became a state or something.
Huh.
Wow.
But unfortunately, those people leaving are trying to turn the places they're going into what they had in California, thinking somehow it'll be better this time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's
working for the FBI now.
All right. All right. So we're recording again. Does anyone recall where we left off? Because I can't just go and play it.
I think I was making fun of California. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, make fun of California.
That's it.
You know me, I'm pretty liberal in my policies. I see these places like Portland, Oregon, and obviously TV shows make fantasy lands of them. There was a show called, I think it was called Now and Then or something. It was on HBO. It was a really interesting show. It was really weird. It wasn't supernatural, but it was about this family. They're all progressive liberals, all this kind of stuff, and so it makes Portland, Oregon look like this paradise. But I jokingly talked to my dad one time a few years ago. I'm like, "Hey, Dad, we should move to Portland." He's like, "Absolutely not." He's like a pretty conservative guy. So but they want to move where we move because their only granddaughter is with us. So,
Right.
yeah. I don't know. I've only been to San Diego. Saint obviously thinks Washington is okay, but I mean, different areas of the country, California, Los Angeles, New York, California, New York, whatever you want to call it. Those are going to be your biggest population centers, then Texas and Florida. And I mean, listen, everyone should get an equal vote. And I understand from what Jeremy's saying, I get that you might not have equal representation, but isn't that what Senate and the House of Representatives and everything are for?
Senate and the House. Yeah.
I mean,
the House is based off population as well. So Senate's straight up 2 per state, but
House of Representatives, if you have a person who's running in your district, for your area, shouldn't that be that person that you address your qualms with, and then they would
sure. But if California has 50 something people, and your state has 1, which one's going to be able to get some support?
Well, I mean, we'll see. I guess I don't think it'll ever happen. I wish it would, but I don't think it'll ever happen.
As far as taking the popular vote over electoral?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's there, but it's 3 times this century a Republican lost the popular vote but won the electoral college. So it was Bush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bush was one.
Yeah. And then Trump, maybe it was just twice. Because Mitt Romney lost both ways, and McCain lost both ways.
Mitt lost.
Right. I have listen. I know. I mean, I know that guy's kind of a flip flopper, and he was the governor of Massachusetts for a little bit, and But I mean, and I know he's just playing the field. But I know. But if he's gonna come out against Trump on some things, I at least got to give him some props on that. Whether or not he's just doing it to try to salvage whatever he can, from those kinds of voters that hate Trump.
Yeah.
I'll give him a little credit there.
Well, you said something there that as far as the impeachment is concerned, they're going to have the trial and stuff after Biden takes office and everything.
Yeah.
They were talking about on 60 Minutes tonight about what the priority was as far as, because there's so many things that Biden has to look into when he takes office. Of course, COVID, number one. The supplemental checks that we get, the stimulus checks, and stuff like that. But they said they need to get 17 votes from Republicans to make something stick to convict Trump for the shit that he's been doing.
Right.
So the question was, do you think you're going to get 17 Republicans simply because they're Republican and the president is Republican? Or are they going to actually see that this guy was a fucking moron and they're going to do the right thing?
And that's the Senate you're talking about, right? Because they have to get 66% of the vote, right? Something
exactly.
Like that?
Yeah. Yes.
2/3. Okay.
Right.
Well, then again, what's the use of spending all the money and time to do this once he's out of office?
To make sure he can't run again in 2024 or ever.
He won't be able to ever run in any political
office dead.
ever again. And
we can hope.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is just, we could let it go, but and try to and start the healing process or whatever is what they were talking about. But I mean, this guy's got to be held accountable for the shit that he's done. I mean, that's my opinion. And but I also agree. Yeah, it's a waste of a lot of time and money. But I think maybe it's worth it because this guy needs to be fucking fried.
I'm just curious. How happy are you with Biden as being the candidate for the Democrats?
I don't know. I mean, it's the lesser of two, the lesser of two evils.
Does it make you feel dirty? Any of the things that he has done in the past that they just want to forget about? The stop and frisk law that he wrote, and tax and Social Security that he brought in, and any of this stuff that
Yeah.
He brought in a ton of minimums for drug use that,
Oh, I'm sure.
you know, Democrats love to point out, hey, that's the reason that all these families are apart because people are in jail. A lot of that came from him, and
Yeah.
I, I don't know.
That's true, but it was also a different time. You know, it was the 80s and the 90s, and you know, you're thinking back then it was still a war on drugs. Nowadays, you know, look at it might be Portland. I
What
think
about
actually
what
all
about
drugs are
desegregation?
decriminalized. What is that?
What about desegregation? That's creates a racial jungle for.
That was before Biden.
No, that was what he said.
Oh well, listen.
He's been in office for 47 years.
He's an old. He's 47 years. Desegregation was in the 60s.
Yeah, he talked about it back then too.
Anyway, you know, listen, lesser of two evils. I'm a Bernie guy. I would rather see Bernie Sanders in office. I would love to see him play a prominent role in the Biden administration, but he's not going to because they can't give up that seat. Because if a Republican takes it from the independent Bernie Sanders in Vermont, it's going to be a whole thing, and they won't have control of the Senate anymore.
Don't think Vermont's a big worry to have a Republican win, but hey, whatever.
I don't know, man. I think there's like a little pocket, and you know, if they get in there and they vote, you know, they got 10 people that live in the state. If they get 6 of them, you know, then that's the Republican Senate.
Well, it's like New York State. If you look at an electoral map of New York State, there's a shit ton of red and one little blue dot, and the whole state goes blue.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I was shocked because I was obviously watching that when the election was happening. I came from Nassau County. I cannot believe that Nassau County is so conservative, like bright red, and Suffolk County right next to it. Suffolk, I understand because that's where all the rich people live, the Hamptons, Montauk, bright red. New York City, blue, 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 blue. Upstate Albany, where, you know, I also have a little bit of property, that's blue as well, but then there's a lot of red around it. And so, yeah, I get that, but I guess that's the nature of the beast. But, you know, the whole thing is we should have term limits. We talked about that last episode. You know, there should be a lot of things that aren't in place. You know, this shouldn't be their main job. A senator shouldn't be his main job. It should be back in the day. He should be a fucking farmer during the day and go help out, you know, voting in the Senate at night or something like that.
Well, the problem is that all the things that you want done to control the government has to agree on. I mean, they're the ones, you know, passing these bills and laws or whatever, you know. So, I mean, if they're making money, and I don't know, man, this country's been bought and sold so many times. Yeah. It's hard to get anything done. I mean, my philosophy is simple. It's do the right thing. I mean, do whatever you have to do to help people. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's what these fuckers are supposed to be doing.
That's mine as well. You know, that goes back to Jeremy's point about what we think about Biden. Honestly, I have faith because Biden he has Kamala Harris, and no matter what you think of her, that's another person. He's putting all these people in place like Pete Buttigieg. He's putting all these groups.
You're not making me feel better.
Yeah, I don't care. Jeremy's not a fan of the gay people. So
I have no problem with the gay people. I don't like him, but okay, keep going.
I think he's great. Every time he's on Fox News, he eviscerates those commentators that are trying to trap him in a corner. It's great. But he's putting together committees and groups that are going to be handling these things. So it's not just him. It's not like all about him. And no matter what, he's not going to fire people. I mean, he'll fire someone, I'm sure, but he's not going to fire people because he doesn't like what they're saying, or they don't agree with him, like Trump's done his entire candidacy, or, you know, his whole presidency. So I feel pretty confident in that. You know, some climate stuff's going to come back. The people will get the checks to spend, you know, because they're all on unemployment now. The minimum wage will get raised federally. You know, we'll see what happens. You know, I know it's always about the first 100 days. I know he's got some things that he's been talking about. We'll see.
Well, the thing is, you know, when you get a new president, and especially you voted for him, and even if you didn't, if you lost and the other guy gets in there, he is the president of the United States. He's trying to represent all of us. So you want him to do well. I mean, you don't want him to fuck up, or, you know, he might be fucking you up. Yeah. So, you know, we got Trump out, got Biden in. Maybe not the best choice from the Democratic side, but that's where he is, and you got to hope that he does the right thing. You know?
I think that's the entire problem, though. I can't remember, and I'm 40 now, you know, and Vinnie, you're a little older. Jeremy, you're, I think, a year older than me. You know, can you guys remember any other time where it was first of all, this country was so divided, but mostly that a candidate or a president or anyone in office was so divisive and, you know, just basically anti one half of the country? Like Obama never did that. Bush, even
Whoa.
What?
He had some issues with half of the country at times.
Yeah, if they said shit about it, probably. But he was never anti. He would never hold a rally and basically do everything that Trump does, calling the left like gross names and things like that, making fun of retarded people, things like that. You know, it's Trump is a gross human being.
The Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton never called all Trump supporters deplorables. That never happened.
Well, I mean, I agree with that.
Oh, so that makes it okay because you agree. Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
you know what? If you only watch and listen to the people that agree with you, then yeah, you're nothing else. Nobody else has ever done anything bad.
But the deplorables just marched on Washington, and so that is it.
Yeah, and her supporters burned down cities all summer, but the news didn't care about that.
There's no cities burned down. There's like a business here and there. And I think that was probably some Ku Klux Klans men doing that.
Is that how we're going with that? I just find it funny that now we need the National Guard, but we couldn't use them when the riots were happening in other cities because those were Democrats rioting. But now we need National Guards because it's not Democrats rioting anymore.
Did you guys?
Now we need them.
We had National Guard here in Atlanta when that all was happening.
Oh yeah, they attacked CNN. Right?
Yeah, they did.
Destroyed CNN's entranceway, and they burned a couple of cop cars. I mean, it was pretty heavy here.
Did you guys see the nickname for the group that was in Washington last week?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to spell it out, but I'll sound it out first. It was the Ku Klux Klan, so it was COUP KLUTZ Klan.
Gotcha.
So I thought that was pretty clever when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's great. All right. Any other inauguration shit? I think we'll just have to cover it next week. Hopefully nothing crazy happens and it all goes smoothly and we only can talk about it for 5 minutes. But any other things before we move on, guys?
Politically, not so much.
No, you guys all watch Netflix or have Netflix? Yeah. Have you watched the Movies That Made Us series at all?
I've seen a couple of those. I've seen a couple of them.
It's in my list. I was going to watch it today, but then I started watching The Last Dance.
Yeah.
So.
It's pretty
I got to watch that as well. But me and Christine watched the Dirty Dancing one when we were on vacation. It made me think of it. I need to watch the Home Alone one and the Ghostbusters.
Do you want to be somebody's baby? Don't ever put baby in a corner.
I'm in a corner right now. They talk about that, how it's the stupidest line in the movie. She's not in a corner. She's up against the wall. What's the difference? I mean, there's no corner. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah. But it's just interesting to see the stories behind some of these things.
Yeah.
I know.
It might be something to watch.
Some of them are, they're shocked that they ever made them to the screen at all.
Yeah.
That's right.
And now they're, cult classics, so to speak.
I watched the holiday ones because there was a holiday version that came out. It was for Elf and damn it, what was the other one? Do you guys know which one it was? It was Elf and something else. So my daughter, Nightmare Before Christmas. So my daughter's huge fans of both of those movies. So we watched those, and it kind of gives a little bit of backstory. And it's funny too. They do it in a humorous way, which is
right.
Even the Dirty Dancing's humorous. I got to watch the Home Alone one. That one I'll have more interest in.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Ghostbusters is Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I mean, that series is from. Did you guys watch The Toys Who Made Us? That series?
I have not yet. I need to go back and watch that.
That's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, you get like Star Wars. I think they have Star Wars. I know they have G.I. Joe. I know they have like Ninja Turtles. They have all the stuff from like the 80s, some in the 70s, things like that. I think they maybe have a Transformers one. It's good. Same concept. A story told with humor from people who actually lived it, participated in making the toys or the movies or things like that. And so it's good. Helps kill time.
I made Christine sit down and watch one day because I loved King of Quarters, the King of Kong, or Fistful of Quarters. Yeah. So we saw one on Netflix about pinball, and that was about competitive pinball. That was actually a really good documentary. I like documentaries. I'm weird. I find them entertaining. But there was one about pinball that was excellent.
I've never heard of it.
Good hour and a half, 45 minutes of television to watch.
That's on Netflix?
I believe it was, yeah. Wife and I watched that on vacation.
And what's it called?
I don't know. I had pinball in the title.
Just type in pinball documentary. I'm sure there can't be that many.
Yeah, popped right up.
I mean, I'm catching up on shows now that my wife's going back to work starting tomorrow. I'll be watching whatever I can. I don't know what I have to watch though.
Is your daughter still home?
Yeah, she's doing transition.
Oh, so you still got to use the headphones when you want the sound on?
Oh, sometimes, yeah. If I'm in the living room, but she's quarantined to her room, so I mean, I can pretty much safely do it. But I always want to be. want to be safe. I want to be careful because some things get really loud if you're watching something that's a little risque or something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
let's temper that down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to finish Last Dance, but I just think that this has been a crazy month for 2021. How it started. It's 3 weeks in, not even. I'm hoping the rest of the year goes better, but we'll see. I mean that
2021 is just a continuation of 2020. Well,
I know.
We're good. We started with the same shit we ended with in 2020. So it's inevitable that's going to suck until things start getting better. So.
I can't recall one good thing, like a great thing that's happened since January 20th, 2017. I'm sorry. And Jeremy, I know that's a political thing, but like for real, in my life, I can't recall a great thing that's happened then since then.
Five Arab states recognizing Israel and signing peace treaties with them.
And you're going to put that Jared Kushner at the forefront right there.
Hey, if that had happened under Obama, he would have got a second peace prize, and it.
He probably should have. He should have got a third term, too. But that's fine.
But can you see where I'm coming from? At least and admit that that is something that was done well.
But Trump.
Can you at least admit that
Trump had nothing to do with it?
It was his administration.
I'll do some research. Send me a link, and I'll cover it top of the show next week.
Yeah.
Just it worries me that you can't admit when there is anything good. That is part of the problem.
I can.
You want to be completely one-sided about everything, and it's either the devil or not.
No, I can.
There are gray areas, and that's where most people live.
I can.
Unless you live in Portland.
Well, unfortunately,
then it's all black and white.
All his bad outweighs any of the good that he did. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say he didn't do anything that was decent, because he did, but everything else just kind of taints it. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if he had shut up and just done policy work, it would have worked better.
I knew there were going to be problems as soon as that fucker started tweeting the very first month he was in office. I was like, is somebody going to stop this fucker from tweeting like a 14-year-old girl?
And now he can't. Now he can't. It is good to see all those people off Twitter. That was one of the biggest things. So many people lost followers this week. And yes, a ton of them were Republicans because of maybe how they were involved with the insurrection incident, but it could have been just bots too. No one has any hard evidence about that because there's so many Twitter bots out there. I don't know about you guys, but like probably several of our show's Twitter followers are obviously bots, and I just don't follow them back. Like oh hey, click this link, and well, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. So I'm not trying to get a virus on my computer.
I don't twat at all.
I don't think that's what it's called.
But
Please,
yeah,
either thing, I don't do it.
I think next week will be an interesting show. We have a guest that we're working on, so we'll play that by ears. I want to keep it a surprise in case it follows through. But I'm always working, and if you guys know anyone who's we'll take political guests, we'll take semi-famous guests, we'll take stand-up comedians if it'll help make the show a little interesting. Just give them a little bone,
Anybody's got something interesting to say, I don't give a shit who it is.
Yeah, I don't want some homeless person off the street that's gonna give some of Jeremy's crazy.
Have Zoom. He's not gonna be on it anyway. So
why has it got to be a he, Vinnie?
Don't worry about it.
But that's we'll see more about that coming up. We'll have more information on that. Any other topics this week, gentlemen? I feel like we covered a lot.
Did we get to your whole list? I didn't check.
We didn't cover one topic, but I think it's going to need a little bit more time than 5 minutes.
What is it? Just so I know.
It's death.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah, didn't know where that came from at all. There was nothing on there. I'm like, what the hell is he going?
Where did that come from?
It's just you don't come on. You guys don't spend time like contemplating your own mortality and wondering, and it bothers me. I can't sleep at night sometimes, and so I just put it on there because I was like, oh, that's a topic that we can all talk about. But I know it's going to take more than
that. Yeah, that's a pretty deep topic.
Yeah,
it's going to take a little more than 5 minutes.
Maybe next time put a little thing next to it. Hey, this is what you should kind of be ready to talk about because I'm like, did somebody die and I didn't know?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, well, they did. Dawn Wells, what's her name from Gilligan's Island?
Marianne.
Marianne.
Yeah,
Marianne.
and Phil Spector just died today, but I don't think
I
anyone
saw
cares.
that.
He murdered
I'm
that
okay with
chick.
that.
Yeah,
He didn't die from COVID though. did he?
yeah. Now COVID symptoms.
Oh, update on the death pool. He had who was the act Julie Stearns or whatever, the actress from a '70s show. He had her, so he's doing well. I don't know about Phil Spector or Dawn Wells.
She died.
Who?
The lady.
Yeah, she died. Well, she was announced she died. Then it was announced she didn't. Then the next day, oh yeah, announced she died.
I forget her name. What's her name? Tanya something?
I thought it was. Oh man, I don't
I know who
remember.
you're talking about, but I don't know her name. She was a Bond girl.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. She played the neighbor's wife on that 70s.
She was Hot Donna's mom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to figure out who she was. Okay.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Was
yeah,
that from COVID too, or?
No, I think she had renal cancer or pancreatic cancer or something like that.
one of those fun things.
Hey, Betty
Yeah.
White. Betty White just turned 99.
99.
That's right.
We were
She's gotta
talking
be on a
about it.
pool. She's gonna be on somebody's pool.
Nah, you only get a point if she's 99. If she passes, not
Oh,
worth
the
it.
younger they are, the more points you get.
That's
Yeah.
right. 100 minus their age.
I might have to change my opinion of that death pool. I don't know.
You go ahead.
The younger you are, the more points you get.
That's right.
You vote for some of these baby newborn twins on some of these TV shows. You're like, yeah, they're next because that's
Yeah,
most
they're
points
coming.
right there.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
that's messed up. Well, actually, they said at one point a guy gamed the system because the only rule was you had to be able to Google the person's name and have them pop up. That's how you said they were a celebrity. You know, they had to have
Right.
recognition.
I guess.
So this guy just went and got 10 people off of the death row, and that were scheduled to be executed that year. You Google them, they show up. There's multiple articles about them. So they had to make a rule the next year that wasn't allowed.
Oh, man.
I love people.
He found a loophole. That's awesome.
Oh, that's right. Oh, speaking of winning money, you guys play the lottery, Powerball, Mega Millions?
No.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
No?
But I know it's huge this week.
I think one's like 850 million, the other one's like 730 or
Yeah.
something.
The
Yeah.
Powerball is like 735, and Mega Ball is over 8. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, no tickets.
No, I played a few times when it was over a few billion a few years ago.
Oh, when it got over a billion,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was over $1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Because 870 million is not enough for you.
no, it's just
Yeah,
listen.
exactly.
It's just the point of it. You get to a thing where the word begins with a B. It's a little more of an incentive than just the millions. I would love to win just any million. I would love to win 10,000. But you know what? The chances of me even winning 10,000 or 5,000 are so minuscule that I don't even want to waste my money on it. So the only time I've ever done it is when it's over $1 billion, and that's rare.
That's only ever happened once.
Yeah.
It's a dollar, Mike.
It's
No,
two.
no.
Two.
Like you
It's two.
get those like $20 things where they pick the numbers for you. That's what I usually do.
You can spend just $2 on a ticket. $2.
$2, Mike. $2.
No,
It's one less tip at Body Talk. I mean, that's all it is. Well, for you, that might be 4 less tips is $2, but whatever. I never seen somebody throw coins on stage like that before.
you heard there was a shooting there a few weeks ago, right?
I did. They arrested the guy apparently.
I don't know if Vinnie knows. Vinnie, you never came up to the Treasure Coast area,
No.
Port St. Lucie, anything. There's a quote unquote strip club, which is really like a bikini bar because they have pasties and everything. Named
Right.
Body Talk. It's in Port St. Lucie, and there was a shooting in the parking lot there. You know, I used to be a customer, occasionally,
Oh, yeah, sure.
but it's been a while. So, but yeah, those places, if they're seedy, you gotta be careful, that kind of
The
thing.
seedier, the better, man.
Well, my wife and I we bought a car up in Melbourne, and the place moved to a new location, and we took it there for first oil change. And it's right next to Bear Assets. I was like, I hadn't thought about this place in 15 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, anything else we're going to talk about this week?
No,
Uh,
I got nothing.
Well, clocked out. It's late. It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, no, listen, we just came up with a short list, and we're missing a usual Saint this week, with Saint away for hopefully just a little bit, and hopefully he'll record something for us. But I think
Yeah.
we covered. I wasn't expecting to go 30 minutes, and we've been gone and we've done an hour already. So I'll cut it together. I'll put it out as soon as possible. But as always, if you guys want to get in touch with us, you can call us, leave us a voicemail with a question, comment, topic you want us to talk about. We'll play the voicemail on air if you agree to it. That number is 240-724-6877. That's 240-SAINTS with 3 S's. You can email us at usualsaints@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Usual Saints. And that's about it for Jeremy and Vinny. This is Mike D. And I'm saying thank you for listening to The Usual Saints.
Peace.
All right, Mike. How about how about letting us know how that social media crap? I can't find any numbers on there when anytime I get an alert to see views or anything.
What do you mean?
Like I get a